Question 7. A college runs a mathematics course in the evening. Scores for a test from this class are shown below. For these data, the lower quartile is 62 and the upper quartile is 88. And part A asks us to show that the test score of 25 would not be considered an outlier. Okay, so it is somewhat generous that they've given us the lower quartile and upper quartile here. If they hadn't, we'd have to find it out ourselves, which I would recommend definitely knowing how to do. So let's highlight this generous information that we're given. And we'll label it as Q1 for lower quartile, which is equal to 62, and Q3 for the upper quartile, which is 88. All right, and so we have to show that 25 is not an outlier, or the score of 25 would not be considered an outlier. Now, the rule or formula for outliers is not given to you in your formula booklet, so you will have to remember this off by heart. And here is an easy expression that you can remember for the acceptable range, or the accepted range of values, so values that would not be considered outliers, and then any value outside of this range would be considered an outlier. And it is as follows: Q1 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range, IQR. All right, and then so we'll write accepted range here. All right. Cool. And then the upper limit is the upper quartile, Q3, plus 1.5 IQR, which is the interquartile range. Now, the formula to find the interquartile range is in your formula booklet, so I'll write that down here. So IQR is equal to Q3 subtract Q1. All right, and so then, yeah, now we can go about and sort of answer our question, okay? We'll write down our info here. We've got Q3 is equal to 88, and Q1 was equal to 62. Now, intuitively, we can assume that 25 is going to be from this lower limit. So we're going to have to show that 25 is more than this expression here. Therefore, it would be within this accepted range. Okay, so we need to show that 25 sits within the accepted range. We don't really have to worry about this up a bit, because it's definitely going to be, that number here is going to be more than 88. And so we don't really have to worry about that so much. Okay, so over here. So therefore, what we need to do is say 25 is more than Q1 minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Now that is 25 is more than 62, which is Q1, minus 1.5 multiplied by 88, subtract 62, and we'll bring this over here. In fact, now we'll do it down here. And so we'll bring our calculator over, and we'll find 62 subtract 1.5 times by brackets 88 subtract 62, and go. And that gives us 23. All right, cool. So we can say 25 is more than 23. And so we will conclude, and we'll use these three dots again, which means, therefore, 25 is not an outlier. Cool. All right, so there is the answer to part A. Once again, I'll stress remembering this off by heart, or notably just the lower limit and the upper limit for an outlier, okay? And yeah, this formula here for the interquartile range, that is in your formula booklet, but it would be worth memorizing and knowing off by heart. Okay, let's move on to part B. All right, what have we got? The box and whisker diagram showing these scores is given below. All right, and so okay, so that is from this box and whisker diagram is from this data set up here. All right, so that's cool. Another mathematics class is run by the college during the evening. A box and whisker diagram showing the scores from this class for the same test is given below. Right, a researcher reviews the box and whisker diagrams and believes that the evening class performed better than the morning class. With reference to the box and whisker diagrams, state one aspect that may support the researcher's opinion and one aspect that may counter it. Okay, so we'll look at it from, so we've got to have one aspect that may support the claim, all right, and one aspect that will counter it. All right, so let's go up to the box and whisker diagrams and sort of visually have a look. And we'll start with the idea of finding something that supports his claim, right? So the one that jumps out to me anyway is the median mark. Okay, so the median mark in the evening class is higher than the median mark in the morning class, right? And so that would be our one aspect that supports his claim. I suppose there would be other things you could probably point out, but that's the most obvious there. Is there anything else really that points out what's the upper quartile looking like? They're the same, and the maximum mark is the same. So actually, I will take that back. That looks like the only part that supports the researcher's claim. And if we look at it from the standpoint of considering what counters his claim, we actually have a handful of aspects that counter his claim. We are only asked to name one, so we could go as far as to say that the lowest mark for the morning class is higher than the lowest mark in the evening class. You could say that the lower quartile in the morning class is higher than the lower quartile in the evening class. And you probably find a lot. We only need to say one. So I'm going to go with the lowest mark and the median. All right. So here is, so I'll say the median mark in the evening class is higher than the morning class. Oopsie. Morning class. Okay, so there is our one aspect that supports the researcher's claim, and then now the one aspect that that I'm going to use is that the lowest mark in the morning class is higher than the lowest mark in the evening class. Okay, so let's say, and so here the lowest mark in the evening class is lower than the lowest mark in the evening class, morning class, people. And what I would also recommend potentially here is to make the life easy for the marker. What I'm going to do is just label both of our claims here. Let's see if I can do this. What we will do is we'll just take all of this, bring it down one. I'm going to move my B up, back up to here, and so I'm just going to write support here, and then we'll go there, yeah, support and then counter here. And then that kind of, you know, quite clearly gives the marker, yeah, what you're talking about. So that would be good. Now, what I'm also going to do to wrap up this video is I'm going to bring you over what the mark scheme says. So, because if you notice something else, then especially to counter his claim, there's plenty of options. So here, this is what the mark scheme for this exam says about this question. Here we go. Bring this. There we go. Right. Yep. All right. So this is what the mark scheme says. So we've got, so yeah, the median class is that's the median score. Median mark, okay, is in the evening class is higher. So that's the only one we said. Then we've got all these options here. So scores are more spread out in the evening class. Scores are more inconsistent, right? Lower scores in the evening class. Okay, interquartile range is lower in the morning class, or the lower quartile is lower in the evening class, right? So you had a handful of aspects that could counter this researcher's claim. I'm going to put full stop on the end there, eh? Okay, cool. Yeah, that is the answer to question 7.